It was early morning. A military column was moving toward a small village. According to the latest reports, the area was considered safe. The enemy was believed to have pulled back during the night. No strong resistance was expected. The task was simple. Enter the village. Secure the crossroads. Wait for the next units to arrive. Nothing about the situation looked dangerous. The road leading into the village was quiet. There were no explosions, no gunfire, no smoke in the distance. The houses were still standing. The streets were empty. For the soldiers moving forward, it felt like they had arrived before anything could happen. Scouts who had passed through earlier reported no contact. Radio messages from command confirmed the same thing. No enemy units were detected nearby. Everything pointed to a routine operation. As the column approached the first buildings, the vehicles slowed down. Soldiers moved on foot along the sides of the road. Weapons were ready, but no one expected a fight. This was supposed to be a quick and easy job. A few small details caught attention. Doors left open. Tracks in the mud that looked fresh. A cart standing near the road as if someone had left in a hurry. But none of this was enough to stop the advance. In war, abandoned villages were common. The commander ordered the unit to keep moving. From his point of view, there was no reason to wait. Delaying would only slow the operation and create problems later. The reports were clear. The enemy was not here. The column moved deeper into the village. What the soldiers did not know was that the enemy had never left. Instead of retreating, they had taken positions around the road. Not in the open streets, but behind walls, inside damaged buildings, and along tree lines overlooking the route. These positions had been prepared in advance. The enemy had studied this road. They knew how units moved through it. They knew where vehicles slowed down. They knew where soldiers relaxed their attention. Most importantly, they knew when not to shoot. As the column continued forward, the distance between vehicles became smaller. The road narrowed. Movement slowed. Everyone focused on what was ahead. The crossroads, the next turn, the objective. No one was watching the sides carefully anymore. No one was looking behind. The silence felt reassuring. It confirmed what everyone believed, that they had arrived first and that the enemy was already gone. That belief was wrong. From hidden positions, the enemy watched quietly. They did not rush. They did not react. They waited until the column was fully inside the village, until turning back would be difficult, and until every movement was predictable. The trap was already in place. The only thing left was the moment to close it. The first shots did not come from the front. They came from the sides. A sudden burst of gunfire hit the road near the middle of the column. Soldiers froze for a second, trying to understand where it came from. Then more shots followed, from buildings, from behind walls, from positions no one had noticed before. The silence broke instantly. Vehicles stopped. Men jumped for cover. Orders were shouted over the noise. Some soldiers returned fire, but many could not see who they were shooting at. The enemy was hidden and firing from several directions at once. The column was trapped. Because the road was narrow, vehicles could not turn around easily. Some tried to move forward, others tried to reverse, but the spacing was too tight. Within moments, the movement turned into confusion. One vehicle was hit and blocked the road. Another stopped behind it. Soldiers had to abandon equipment and take cover wherever they could find it. Behind walls, in doorways, in shallow ditches along the road. The enemy had waited for this moment. They did not attack all at once. They fired in short bursts, changing positions quickly. Every time soldiers tried to move, another shot came from a different angle. It was clear that this was planned. Radio operators tried to call for support. Some messages went through, others did not. Signals were weak, and communication became unreliable. Reports coming back were short and urgent. "We are under fire. Enemy positions unclear. Road is blocked." The commander realized what had happened. They had not arrived first. They had walked straight into a prepared position. Orders were given to secure the flanks, but it was difficult. Soldiers could not see the enemy clearly, and moving out into open areas only drew more fire. The enemy knew the ground. They had cover. They controlled the angles. A small group tried to push forward to clear the road. They advanced carefully, using walls and debris for protection. After a few steps, they were forced back by heavy fire. Another group attempted to move through a side street. It looked empty at first, but as soon as they entered, shots came from above. They had to retreat, leaving one wounded soldier behind until it was safe to pull him back. Time passed quickly. A situation that had been expected to last minutes was turning into something much worse. Ammunition was being used faster than planned. Smoke filled the air. The wounded were being treated wherever there was cover. The commander tried to reorganize what was left of the unit. Some soldiers were ordered to hold positions. Others were told to prepare for a possible withdrawal if a route could be opened. But the enemy did not allow easy movement. Every attempt to change the situation was met with resistance. The column could not move forward, and pulling back was just as dangerous. The enemy had achieved exactly what they wanted. They had stopped the unit in the worst possible place. What was meant to be a simple operation was now a fight for survival. And the worst part was that this did not happen because of bad luck. It happened because the enemy had planned it, and because the unit believed the area was safe. After the first hour, it became clear that the situation would not improve. The unit was still stuck inside the village. The road remained blocked, and every attempt to move brought more enemy fire. The enemy controlled the area and chose when to shoot. The soldiers inside the column could only react. Casualties increased slowly but steadily. Some wounded soldiers were pulled back behind walls and buildings. Others had to wait where they fell until it was safe to move them. Medical supplies were limited, and treating injuries under fire was difficult. Radio contact improved briefly, enough to send a clearer report to command. The message was simple. The unit was pinned down. The enemy was well prepared. Immediate support was needed. But help could not arrive quickly. The road behind the column was now dangerous. Moving additional units into the same area risked falling into the same trap. Artillery support was considered, but enemy positions were hard to identify without risking friendly fire. The commander on the ground made a difficult decision. The unit would not push forward. Instead, small groups would try to break out on foot, using cover and moving slowly, one section at a time. Vehicles and heavy equipment would be left behind if necessary. It was not the plan they started with, but it was the only plan left. The breakout began cautiously. A few soldiers moved first, drawing enemy fire while others followed a different route. Some groups made progress. Others were forced back. The enemy responded quickly, shifting positions and keeping pressure on every movement. By the time the fighting slowed, the unit was no longer together. Some soldiers had escaped the village. Others were still pinned down. Equipment lay abandoned along the road. Vehicles burned quietly, sending smoke into the air. When the firing finally stopped, the area was silent again. Not the calm silence from the morning, but the heavy silence that follows fighting. Later reports tried to explain what had gone wrong. Timelines were reviewed. Reconnaissance reports were questioned. Decisions were analyzed. The conclusion was simple. The unit did not fail because it lacked skill or courage. It failed because it believed the area was safe. The enemy did not win by force alone. They won by waiting, by choosing the right ground, and by letting their opponent move exactly where they wanted. The soldiers who survived learned a hard lesson that day. Arriving first does not mean being safe. Sometimes it only means you walked into the trap before anyone else.